You're watching E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob, and it's too early for this shit. Really, it is. But we got more footage to discuss, and actually we're going to go over it. We're going to break this down a little bit. It's about 55 seconds total. This clip is actually 2 minutes and 50 seconds total, the video, but half of it is new stuff. The other half is the Japanese trailer that came out a couple of weeks ago. So the first one is 25 seconds. Second one's about 30 seconds. There is a lot of new footage in this combined. Again, not very spoilery, just once again, the same surroundings that we've seen, just this time, different angles and different clips. So let's take a closer look at it. Let's have some fun. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming tonight for this, so we may have to wait till Friday. So I'm not even ready for this morning. I haven't even had anything to drink or eat yet. And I just got back from dropping my kids off at school about an hour ago. So, but let's take a look at these clips. All right, so I wanted to start here because this is a good close-up of the Kong doll that we've seen before. And very, very carefully look here. If you remember this clip, this, I believe we all agree, takes place on Skull Island, right? But this shot right here is actually the Hollow Earth, I think. If you look at the background, the sky is much different than it was in the clips that we've seen before that involve Jaya right here. When Kong is approaching her, it very much looks like Skull Island. But based on what we've seen so far on the other trailers, and even in this little TV spot, as you'll see later, this is the Hollow Earth. So it looks like Jaya is going to be going on that journey with him. So any concerns about Jaya dying, I think is pretty much can be obsolete now. But we get a confirmation here that, well, Kong is communicating. And, you know, I think so far it looks like here they will be giving him subtitles. Now, this could just be that it's because this is a China TV spot, and maybe that's why they're doing it. But it looks like we're going to be getting some confirmation of knowing what he's saying to Jaya when they talk. So, which is going to certainly humanize him more. So I thought that was interesting that they decided to go that route. So let's move on to the next shot. All right, so this shot right here, just getting past that, this is a beautiful shot of Godzilla heading to the city. And as you can see, his dorsal plates are glowing on the obviously as they stick out the water. You know, I've been noticing with these trailers and these TV spots that it seems like Godzilla is going to be flashing a lot in this. And I know that sounds like sexual, but no, that's not what I mean. But I mean his dorsal plates will be glowing a lot. At least it seems that way. Once again, when you combine all this footage and you take into account that a lot of the footage is stuff we've already seen from a prior trailer, it does seem that way, but it's probably not the case. But it just seems like every shot they've shown him, even on the aircraft carrier scene, if you look carefully after he hits Kong, his dorsal plates are flashing. They always seem to be flashing in all these trailers and TV spots. So, you know, I don't know if that's just a thing they wanted to add to him. They liked it from the last movie, or it just could be perception. But I'm just kind of bringing that up. But I thought this was a beautiful shot here of him heading to what seems to be a city that's, you know, it's nighttime. People are settling in for the evening. They have no idea what's coming, you know, Bryan Cranston style. So, yeah, I just kind of wanted to, now I'm not too sure what city this is, but, you know, when you consider that the Hong Kong shot in the trailer, which we now know that this movie takes place 5 years later, and they purposefully made the city look that way. They wanted it to look futuristic. So when you consider that all the buildings in that shot are fluorescent, then I can only assume that this is maybe Pensacola, Florida. Maybe this is where he touches down and does all that. It could be another place, but it's certainly not the city at the end of the movie when Kong and Godzilla are fighting, because there's no neon lights in the you know, out in the distance. So let's take it to the next shot. Okay, so we're going to go through this one pretty slowly, but this is a shot of after Godzilla slaps Kong, and as you can see, pretty cool, Godzilla's looking down on him, ready to go after him, and Kong cocks him again. And I thought this was really cool because we could see here that, you know, even though it looks like Kong takes his shot really hard, he lays one right back at Godzilla. So I thought that was excellent, excellent. That's what we want to see, right? We want to see the back and forth. We want to see the clash. So I thought this was another great shot, you know, just to see that right after Kong gets taken down by Godzilla, Godzilla thinks he has the advantage, and Kong just socks him once again and catches him right back. So I thought that was great. All right, now this is an interesting shot because this is, I believe, either the battle during fighting Mechagodzilla or just about to start. Multiple reasons why. Number one, is during the daytime. Number two, some of these buildings back here look very much reminiscent of the buildings that we see in the beginning of the original trailer when the mountain explodes, which is what everybody believes might be Mechagodzilla coming out. Could be wrong, but I do believe Mechagodzilla will have an encounter with either Kong or Godzilla in the middle of the movie. That's just my guess. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to tell also because if that is the case, then these buildings should also have neon lights, and they also don't look reminiscent of the buildings that Godzilla and Kong are fighting around when you look at the Neon Light City. So that's interesting because he looks bewildered here and beaten. Not beaten, but he looks tired. But at the same time, and these buildings, like I said, they are very reminiscent of the buildings that surround the mountain that explode. But then it's like, well, what's going on here? Because if that's happening, if this is the city where Mechagodzilla appears, and the Neon City is where Godzilla and Kong fight, then where is this taking place? You know? So it's pretty interesting. You know, if you just look at the surroundings, you can see that there's differences. There's definitely differences in this city here versus the city that Kong and Godzilla are fighting. But at the same time, Kong looks like he's been in a battle here. And maybe this is an encounter with Mechagodzilla that he has to escape from, or maybe the cities are connected and we just haven't seen how they connect. I mean, obviously these monsters can traverse a large amount of, land from one to the other more, a lot faster than we can. So maybe there is a connection there. But this is definitely not the city. At least it looks like it's not the city where he fought Godzilla. But maybe over here in the background where my mouse is on the upper right hand, maybe that's the city. I don't know. I just think it's a pretty interesting shot because he looks like he's been in a battle already. And he looks tired. I mean, look at the expression on his face when I play this. I mean, look at this. He looks tired, He's tired. He's had a long night of fighting, so I'm kind of interested to see how this is going to play out. But I do believe this is where he might be fighting Mechagodzilla or have his first encounter with Mechagodzilla. Or maybe he's fighting Godzilla and he's getting his ass whipped and he's just tired. So who knows? But let's move on to the next one. Now, this is another good shot. As you can see, here's Jaya sitting in the back. Here is Skarsgård and Eliza. I forget her last name. But these are them three. This is in the HEAV. All right. And obviously they've been traveling with Kong. And this is them getting shot at by Godzilla. As you can see, as the clip plays, there's the HEAV right here. There's Godzilla shooting. So he's not a happy camper. He is not a happy camper. But the HEAV, I mean, look at that technology. Now, what confuses me about this is when you, especially after what we found out last night regarding the story, regarding, when it takes place and how Apex is the one that has all the sleek futuristic technology. We've seen the HEAVs in the trailer numerous times, and I'm trying to figure out whether it's something that Monarch steals from Apex or if it's the technology that Monarch actually has access to, because I was under the understanding that the HEAVs belong to Apex, but we can see here that that's not the case. We have Monarch employees and Jaya in the machine itself. Now, what's interesting is we don't see Rebecca Hall here. And Rebecca Hall is supposed to be the one that's closest to Jaya. And there are other scenes that have Rebecca Hall's character, that don't have Rebecca Hall's character, that have these three together. So I'm kind of curious as to why that's the case. We kind of only see Rebecca Hall's character in the early parts of these trailers. And I'm wondering if she's the one that ends up biting the dust. So that'll be interesting to see later. But nice shot here of Godzilla blasting a HEAV. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, now here is the Hollow Earth. And right up here, as you remember me stating earlier in this video, the reason I think the shot of Jaya talking to Kong is two different shots is because obviously when you look at Jaya, behind her, it's very green. It's obviously Skull Island. But if you look at Kong, when he's saying home, this is kind of the air vision. Like, this is what it looks like behind him. So this is why I think he's talking to Jaya, but not necessarily on Skull Island. But we can see here, once again, here are the two HEAV ships, right? If these are Apex ships, are they trailing him? Or, are they stolen? We know that Skarsgård is flying one. Who's flying the other? Maybe it's Rebecca Hall's character with a different crew, and that's why we don't see her later. Maybe it gets destroyed by a monster, or there's a big threat down there that Kong has to take care of. Probably the Warbats. But this is a beautiful shot, and I'm kind of loving how the Hollow Earth is looking. And you can see the landscape. A lot of this blue also, very interesting. As you play this clip, you can see along the sides here, there's a lot of blue. And we look further, and you can see there's a whole underneath mountain. Like it's so backwards and crazy, but it's so dope. And I'm hoping we get to see a lot of the Hollow Earth. But I'm wondering if the blue represents like radiation or their form of radiation, Titan's forms of radiation, because we see a lot of that in the Hollow Earth as well. So I just thought it was interesting, but very, very nice shot here. And this makes me more excited to learn more about the lore of the Hollow Earth. So very, very cool stuff here. All right, so this shot seems to be Godzilla making landfall in that very same city that we saw earlier. This happened so quick that when I first saw this, I'm like, wait a minute, why is his belly glowing? But you can see down here, it's a spotlight. And then as he destroys this jet up here, you'll see, bam. You know what I mean? Obviously, a very upset Godzilla. Good stuff here. I mean, this is probably a prelude to right before he destroys the city. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, look, Godzilla destroying cities, that's something we've been waiting for a long time, so we finally get to see it. Whether or not it's actually Godzilla destroying cities remains to be seen. Sorry, guys, I had to throw it in there. But interesting stuff, man. Let's move on to the next one. Here's a beautiful shot of Jaya and Kong obviously communicating. This, I also believe, happens in the Hollow Earth. I believe she's in the HEAV. I think they're, at least my early take on what's going on with the Hollow Earth is I don't think I don't think they can walk around the Hollow Earth. And that's what I believe. It doesn't seem that way. I don't think they can. That's why they have the HEAV machines, right? I don't think they can actually traverse it. I mean, they need the HEAV machines, obviously, to keep up with Kong. But even if Kong were to travel slow enough for them to follow behind, I don't think people can actually get out and walk around the Hollow Earth. I just don't think that's possible. So I believe this might also be part of that scene where he's telling Jaya this is home, Hollow Earth is home. And that's where she's communicating with him. So really, really nice shot, though. I mean, real beautiful here. Now, this sequence here is actually confirming something I theorized a couple of weeks ago, or maybe even last week. So there's a nice close-up shot of Godzilla in the last commercial spot or teaser trailer that came out the day of the Snyder Cut, where we see a close-up of Godzilla firing his atomic breath, like face first. Like you could see him right close up, and he seems to be shooting it across. And I said to myself, well, I wonder if he's shooting this at Kong and Kong is flying through the buildings. Well, there it is, Here it is. He is. And, that's what's happening here. So very cool. We're going to get to see Kong use the city. And again, going back to what I was saying earlier, see, all these lights are neon and lit up. This city is not exactly the same or even close to the same as the shot we saw earlier regarding Kong looking tired and things like that. But now we get confirmation. He is going to, obviously, we've talked about this many times, he is going to be using the city as his playground, as to swing around, and he's going to use his environment to fight. So that's really cool. Good stuff. Let's move on to the next one. And here is yet another absolutely beautiful shot of Godzilla, top-down shot. I like this a lot. Again, I am very, very curious as to why Godzilla is just lighting up so much. Like, again, it could just be perception because of the fact that we've seen him pretty much do it in what you would argue 4 minutes total of footage from the first trailer all the way to this point. Let me see, one 2 minute trailer, another minute trailer, a bunch of 30. So I would say maybe 5 to 6 minutes of total footage, most of which is repeated, but every shot pretty much Godzilla's glowing. And, again, it could just be that that's what they're showing. But I just kind of find it interesting because he didn't really do that much in the first movie. He didn't do it at all in the first movie. In King of the Monsters, he did it primarily when he was jacked up on nuclear power towards the end of the movie. The only time he did it before that was underwater. He glowed, he was giving off like a warning. But he seems to be doing it a lot in this movie. So maybe that's his way of expressing anger. Maybe that's his way of expressing his emotion. But I just think it's interesting that he's glowing so much in all these shots from the first trailer to this one. Let's move on. But that's a great shot, man. I love that. That is a beautiful shot. All right, and here it is, and I'll play it through. This is just, you want to talk about the axe being a money shot? This is like them face to face, and man, this is just too good. Look at that. They are ready to kill each other. Oh my God, I cannot wait to see this movie. There's nothing to break down here, man. What do you need? Look at this. Look at that. Obviously, Godzilla's in a power position here, but, there you have it, man. There you have it. So, I don't know, man. This movie's going to be, I'm hoping it's going to be as good as it looks. Obviously, I don't want to forget, before this shot, we did see David Tyree, Millie Bobby Brown, as well as Julian Dennison in what looks to be like an old Apex lab or destroyed Apex lab or whatever. This obviously further confirms that they're going to be all going on a journey together to stop Apex. And then, of course, we move on to the money shot with Godzilla and Kong face to face. So, just incredible footage, right? Just great footage. We still have the Fan Fest coming this weekend, so we don't know what we're going to get there. I don't know if this counts as a trailer. I saw some people saying trailer too. I don't think this counts as a trailer. It's basically 2 TV spots tossed in together with the Japanese trailer. And these are Chinese. These 2 TV spots were for China. So there is still a shot we'll get a second trailer. At this point, it's like, I don't think we need one. We've seen so much. And of course, I'm going to watch them all. Just when I say we don't need it, doesn't mean I'm not going to watch it if it comes out. I'm going to watch it. It's just that I think, we've got enough, I think, in my opinion. But at the same time, I got to give them credit. I don't think they're spoiling anything big here. Even with this new footage, they're still not showing to the point that there's still a lot of questions. And if you go into the movie with a lot of questions, then that means that they've done a good job of marketing, right? There's still a lot of questions regarding the Hollow Earth. There's still a lot of questions about Godzilla too. The amount of anger that he's showing in these trailers, the amount of, aggression that he's showing is really interesting to see. Like, yeah, we get an idea of where that's coming from. And if it's been happening over the course of the last 5 years, now that we know that this movie is taking place 5 years later, when did it start? What triggered it? If we're to believe that Ghidorah's head or that part of his body or whatever is what's triggering Godzilla, then why didn't this start a long time ago? So it's just a lot of stuff. Like there's so much going on. If we are to believe that Mechagodzilla took 5 years to be built, or that he's been built during that time, at what point did it get triggered? And that's kind of why I'm very interested in the comic, because I think the comic will go into more detail about that. But now they've kind of pushed that back, because I actually pre-ordered that comic. It was supposed to come out the day before the movie, and now they're saying like April 4th or something. So I'm kind of upset about that, because I was hoping to kind of read it on stream and kind of share it with everybody. I'm still going to check and see if the digital version comes out. But anyway, what did you guys think of all this new footage? I thought, once again, it was good footage. Good tasty bits without giving away too much. But, little by little, we are getting a lot of new footage. But still, when you add up all the time together, that all this footage we've gotten, I think it's about 6 or 7 minutes total. And a lot of it is repeated. So when you really see it and break it down like that, we still haven't seen a whole lot of this movie. We've been able to deduce things that we think might be correct based on the environment, based on how they're repeating these environments. So I don't know, man. Give me your thoughts down below, but it's a good way to wake up in the morning. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Click here to watch more content. Don't forget to leave a comment. Also, make sure you like and share this video. If you want to know when the next video is up, click the notification bell next to the subscribe button. And most of all, make sure to click that subscribe button for regular content.